Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Pastor Rob for another Messiah Daily Devotion. Where one of the ways that we engage with Jesus is just being in His Word, reading the Bible. And a lot of times they're going to be intimidating. A lot of times there can be a lot of questions about that. So at South Lake Church, we read the Bible weekly. We do it at Immerse, which is at Noah's Ark over in Bay Cliff, Saturdays at 8 a.m. And we just begun reading through Messiah, the New Testament. And today on day 4, we're continuing through the ministry of Jesus. A lot happens within one day's worth of reading. And with Immerse, you normally ask 4 questions. So the first question we ask is always, did something stand out to you? Now for myself, reading through here, traditionally, we teach that the Gospel of Luke is written by Luke, who was a physician. And what's interesting today, something that stood out, the focus and all the healings that take place in Luke's Gospel. All the different Gospels all show healings of Jesus, but it just feels like with all the reading we did today, it really seemed to focus on that. So it kind of makes you wonder, is that because Luke, as a physician had enjoyed and want to read more about it? I don't know. But just something that stood out to me. Question for today was, I wonder what was going through the minds of the disciples. At the end, I don't know. But just seeing Jesus do these healings, raising the boy from the funeral procession, there we go. The different healings that people were going through, the woman who touched his cloak and healing power came from him. It just, what were they thinking, experiencing this, seeing this? But then when he's on the boat with them, he falls asleep. They get scared. Jesus calms the storms. And what do they say? Who is this guy that even the wind listens to him? So it's kind of like, I wonder what was going through their brains. Just watching all these things happen, seeing these things. What were they thinking? What does our reading tell us about God? And again, I think this comes down to, this is going to be a little troublesome for some. The healings that we're reading about today is a secondary, maybe even secondary, reason for Jesus to exist. So in Matthew's gospel, we'll read what the message is. What Jesus is saying is, the kingdom of God has come. Luke's gospel seems to focus more on not telling what the message was, but showing God's kingdom has come as we read all these different healings, which is great. But the very end of our reading today, it gets back to the main reason why Jesus is here. And it's not healing. It's so that the Son of Man will be taken up to die. The crucifixion of Jesus, giving his life for you, for me, is the primary reason for why Jesus came. Primary reason why we have belief in Jesus. It's not for healings, but because he would give his life for us. So this is something that stood out to me of all this reading, and then at the very end of our reading, Jesus makes a point, so the Son of Man may be taken up. So yeah, there's something interesting there. So lastly, what does this have to say about my day today? So first off, I hope you're having a wonderful start to your Thursday, or as I always like to say, Friday Eve. In your life today, how are people needing to experience the kingdom of God? In our reading in Luke, how people are experiencing the ministry, God's kingdom, is seeing Jesus, experiencing Jesus. There's these healings. So in your life, how can people experience Jesus? And it might not be doing healings, but again, what's the primary focus? So that the Son of Man may be taken up. How will people experience that there's a God who loved them so much, gave his life for them in your life? I'm going to work on that today myself. So, hey, thanks for joining in again for a couple moments for a Messiah morning devotion. And just a reminder that we engage, grow, and share Jesus in our community relationships. Hey, God bless everybody and have a great one.